Hey guys, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I wanted to do a vocal coach reacts to the band Kansas, and the song is Wayward Son. Lead vocalist is Steve Walsh, and I've just loved Steve growing up all my life. In fact, I did a version of the same song. You can find in the description. You can see how I stacked up in emulating the song. But they did a live version. Now, this is later in his life, and the band members are older and whatnot. But check this out. They are still just killing it to this day. Check it out. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Boom, straight out, man. They kill it. The vocals are crystal clear. Somebody must have had to give them a cue, or they have, absolute pitch where they knew how to come in without even any instrumentation, which I think is really cool. They got a big array, a big spread here going on, but I love what they stand for. I love, everything about the band, the professionalism, the musicianship, songwriting, all really good stuff. So let's continue. Here we go. Learned all these notes on guitar at age 17 or something. Of course, they had these long instrumental breaks, but when you're growing up as a kid and you're a guitar player, because that's my first instrument, we love that stuff. So, of course, we had to learn every note and everything from bands like Boston, Kansas, you name it. And what else I love about the band is, they've gone through some member changes and stuff, but they've always kind of come full circle. But every time I've seen them, no matter who were the different members that came in and out of the band, they were always still spot on great. So let's continue. Okay, now before we go on, once I rose above the noise and confusion. What I've always loved about Steve Walsh's sound is his voice has always been crystal clear, and his pitch is deadly spot on. So here we go, check it out.
Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse behind this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. No, my eyes could see I still was a blind man. No, my mind could think I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when.
Reminds me, I did a reaction to Styx, and they were very similar. When Dennis DeYoung was in the band, all the time, but and Tommy Shaw and all that. And man, the vocals were killer. The band was killer. These guys have a lot of people on stage, so they have a lot going on. They have all this background stuff. And you know what? They're not running tracks, guys. There's other bands we've talked about in the past that are running tracks. They're not. Everything is live. You can hear it. So everything you hear is just these guys playing. And whoever was the sound engineer on this, man, imagine putting all those pieces. You'd have to know their music so well to be able to represent that to the audience that's listening. So let's continue.
Masquerading as a man with a reason, masquerading man at the season. And if I claim to be a wise man,
Spot on pitch, guys.
it surely means that I don't know.
By the way, in the old days, it was cute, or not cute, but it was pretty amazing. The band is a lot more energetic than they are now. They're a lot older. And Steve Walsh used to be like an acrobat, and he would jump up on his keyboard, do a handstand, and come back down, and he'd be, anaerobic and literally just, do crazy, kind of like David Lee Roth was back in the early Van Halen days. And he would just do these crazy physical stunts and feats. And now he's older, whatever, but the band is still flawless. Every note is in place. No one's missing a thing. All the tones are there. If you know the song well, you know what I'm talking about. And again, check out my version in the description because I tried to emulate this as best as possible. Here we go.
On the stormy sea of moving emotion, tossed around like a ship on the ocean.
You see the orchestra behind him with all those strings?
But I hear the voices say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Okay, before we get in my favorite instrumental break here, it was kind of a shame early on. Kerry Livgren, the keyboard player and main songwriter for the band, got in a brawl, a brouhaha with Steve Walsh, and a lot of it was over the lyrics because Kerry used to like to write really spiritual stuff. And at the time, I don't think Steve was that into it. So Steve went on a band called Streets, or something, Lights, Streets, I forget. Anyway, he left the band, whatever. John Elefante came in, and he did a killer job, man. They wrote all kinds of great stuff. He was an excellent live performer. I've seen these guys probably half dozen times, maybe more. And every time, like I said, the band was great. You get into these instrumental breaks, and I was talking about lyrics before, but now I'm going to talk about musicianship, is that everybody is great. Like, everybody's really great at what they do. It's not like there's a weak link in the band, so check it out. Here we go. What a killer band. Here's the epic solo. Now, the other thing is, being this progressive, it's not only hard to be like, it's kind of like Dream Theater. The musicians are great, but they also have to be great together, not just great by themselves. So they have to play together as a unit, and everyone has to give everyone else their space. And that's precisely what Kansas does every single time. So let's continue. Come on, Steve. Truly epic, guys. I'm telling you, go back and listen to some of their old stuff, watch some of their concerts. These guys set the precedent and pioneered a lot of the progressive music that was happening. And yes, there was Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And yes, there was, we talked about other bands later like Dream Theater. And yes, in this case, Kansas. A lot of bands were going after more than just singles to be played, spun on the radio. So they would break out into this stuff, and they didn't care. They really didn't care if a label liked it as much. They didn't care. All they cared about is if the fans liked it. Even Leonard Skinner was maybe not progressive, but they took their really long instrumental breaks and stuff. Green Grass and High Tides. I don't know if you remember that. That's not Skinner. That's That band, I'll think in a minute. Anyway, but all these great long instrumental breaks, and it was really cool because, like I've said this to you before, it's like tightrope walking. And for those of you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's like you walk on this tightrope across a cavern, and the cavern is your album that you made, that you set the bar really high for yourself. Can you actually keep up with that cavern? Most bands can't. These bands took that to another level and said, gosh, that's all they let us do on their record, but we wanted to do so much more. So in a live setting, that's exactly what they did. And that's what Kansas is doing right now. Here we go. Oh, big ending. Bigger than the record. Super fun. Woo! That gets 4 thumbs straight up. Bring it home. There we go. I feel like they're going to break back into the song again. This is a big production here. There's a lot going on. They're going to do that. Anyway, guys, just an absolutely epic band, epic performance. Everything was absolutely flawless. So if you guys don't know of Kansas, and all of you old farts like me out there that know Kansas really well, couldn't ask for a better inspiration for me growing up, instrumentally, orchestrally, vocally, a lot of killer guitar, everything up. It's just, again, 4 thumbs straight up. So anyway, thank you for joining me, Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, with the proofs in the singing. And until next time, peace out. Hey guys, if you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button. That will actually take you to another page where you want to click on the bell icon, and it opens up a menu, and the menu has notifications on it where there's a little box you can check where it says send me all notifications for this channel. Check the box and then click the save button, and you'll get notifications from me every time I have a cool video come out. Okay? Thanks guys. Peace out.